guys, Midnight Tarot Talk here, and today we are going to be doing our past life reading. So get excited, buckle down, grab a snack, maybe a drink, and enjoy this collective past life reading. We have 4 piles here today. Pile 1 with the black obsidian moon. Pile 2 with the clear quartz moon. It's absolutely beautiful. This is for a necklace, but I decided to take it off and use it as a crystal. And pile 3, this one is half amethyst and half black obsidian. It's a crescent moon. And pile 4, I didn't have any more crescents, so I decided to go with the beautiful rose quartz sphere. So start by taking a few deep breaths, getting into a meditation, or just closing your eyes and asking your spirit guides, the universe, whatever you truly believe in, ask them which pile should you pick. And once you pick that pile, the timestamps will be down below, and you can click on that timestamp and get to learn about your past life. Hi, pile 1. I'm so glad you could be here with me today in this collective past life reading. I completely forgot to introduce the other decks that will be involved in this. I am currently using the Chakra Wisdom Oracle deck, and I'm also going to be using the Dark Mirror Oracle deck. So this chakra deck, I already pulled 2 cards, and these 2 cards are going to represent the theme within your past life. Now, I do have to give credit where credit is due. I did watch ASO Tarot's past life reading, and this definitely inspired me to do my own past life reading for you guys. And she did use this chakra deck in understanding the theme of your past life. So I am going to be doing the same thing from her, but just a little bit different, because I will be using the past life deck I had talked about in a review. If you want to see that review, you can go check it out. But this deck will show you the different types. I literally just pulled it here. It says loss. So the different types of way you could have possibly passed in your past life, the year or the time you were probably in. And I do want to show you guys, it does show the places you could have been in your past life. So this is going to be a very fun reading. And then I also wanted to be a little bit creative and use the Dark Mirror Oracle cards. And this is usually used for shadow work, but I do want to use it to show you guys maybe what you had to work on in your past life versus what you have to work on now. So I thought that'd be really good to give you guys some shadow work advice from me to you. And yeah, of course, let's start with the crystal. You guys had picked the obsidian crystal, and I just want to explain what this crystal means. This crystal is actually used for, it's blocking negative energies. It's a grounding stone. This is used to block negative energies and psychic attacks. It's also used to help psychics or people that are intuitive to get collective answers. So if you need that clarity, I know the clear quartz can definitely help with that clarity, but the black obsidian can also help as well in finding the answers you need and clearing your mind from any negative thoughts. So I just thought I'd put that out there and explain to you guys which crystal you picked, and maybe you'd want to get this crystal yourself. So I'm going to put that up here. And now we're going to show the 2 cards that represent your past life theme. So this first one is the actual theme of it, and this second card here is going to be the clarifying card to it. So let's see with the theme. All right, perseverance, and the clarifying card for it is wisdom. So off the bat, wisdom is the heart chakra, and I do believe the orange, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's the sacral chakra. And the perseverance is all about withstanding challenges. You see the color red here. It's bright, bold, and curious. And the wisdom is being wise and making the smart choices. So maybe in your past life, you could have had to withstand some challenges that you may be faced. And the wisdom is saying you had to be wise within what you wanted to do next. I mean, we have the world here. So it does show you could have traveled. And we have the blue background. And I also do see that as spiritually inclined. So you could have been spiritually inclined in your past life. We have the dove here, freedom, flying. So you may have been someone that had to face a multitude of challenges and made choices depending on your freedom and what you wanted to do, and cautiously making decisions without getting into trouble. That's just what I'm sensing just from looking at these two cards here. So that is the theme for your past life. Now let's get into the actual past life reading. All right, so off the bat, I had asked what place you guys were in your past life, and immediately Greece came out. So you may have been in Greece within your past life. And what's funny is we have the two female companionships here. So this also could represent you. Oh my goodness. And I see the two females here. So potentially you could have been bi-curious. I don't want to just assume that off the bat. But when I see double female energy, you could have been bi-curious, or you may have just had like a really strong female friend by your side. But this definitely places you within Greece. So let's see. Ooh, okay, well those already flipped over. I don't know if I should take them. We're just gonna shuffle again. So let's see what year and who you were. Oh, wow. So immediately we have the twin flames, 16th century, and poison. So not only did it tell you guys what type of person you were in your past, but it also might have significantly showed that either you or your potential partner was poisoned, and that caused you to be at a loss. So it's actually beautiful to know that you had your twin flame in your past life, and it could be reoccurring in this time frame as well. It does show that this was within the 16th century. Now I know it has the natives here, but I can't even think of what Greece would look like in the 16th century. Completely different from this image here. But yeah, it does show that you were within Greece, that you did have a lover or a companionship, a strong companionship, whether you were bi-curious, sexuality is, it's fluid. So your partner, you had your partner back then. You had your soul deep connection in your past life, and you or them may have been poisoned. This is the female energy. So regardless of who you are, there was a female energy that either you were or your person was, and they were poisoned. And it caused a huge loss for you. A huge loss for you. This person is mourning, and they're naked, they're exposed. Noting that the twin flames are also naked and exposed. So this may have been a hard challenge for you, and you may have had to make wise decisions, and it may have backfired, because this poisoning, I don't think you poisoned your loved one. I think someone else poisoned them. And I think from there, you had to make wise decisions for your future to grow with love. This is the heart chakra. You had to grow with love regardless of losing your partner. And that is so sad to hear. I'm so sorry about that. This is turmoil. I'm feeling like turmoil, despair, but in the beginning it was true love. It was challenging. When we have the perseverance, it's challenging. and the 16th century is telling me that this was back in a day where maybe people would just fight all the time and there wasn't that peace and prosperity. Maybe they were poisoned because of discrimination. I'm just seeing this image here, and I know this is not how Greece looked like, but I am seeing, these people are trying to protect themselves and what they believe in, and there's someone coming, knocking in their way and damaging things. And maybe your person was someone that was discriminated, was not approved of in many different ways, and you had to face those challenges, and you loved really hard until there was this loss that they were poisoned. But again, it could be you. I'm just really sensing that it was your partner. So let's see. I'm gonna put the loss right here. So let's see. We're gonna use the Dark Mirror Oracle. And underneath this is Australia. So again, what's crazy is underneath this is Australia and this is Hero. So again, you could also have been placed in Australia and you could have been heroic. I mean, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking you pushed through everything you could possibly push through. But just another locational place you could have been in. I did a past life reading on myself, and I had literally 3 different locations, 3 different places, and 3 different identifications of who I was. And it was very interesting to know that I had 3 past lives, and this is my 4th one. So you could have had more than 1 past life. The twin flames, we have 2, so could have had 2 past lives previously. But let's do the Dark Mirror Oracle deck. And I can also pull, let me pull these out here, because I do think this does describe you, the hero. You definitely had to persevere and be strong. Maybe you were that masculine energy at that time, and they were that feminine that you had lost. Totally forgot to just bring that up here in this pile. But forgive me, pile 1. I definitely am just working through this past life reading right now. And I totally see that you, in your current life, are probably going through this repeated cycle of having to make these wise choices and having to be smart. And maybe in your current life right now, your twin flame will pop up, or you're with this twin flame, and there are some challenges that you still need to face through. Because when I see the poison, I see that you weren't able to complete this romance. And so that to me just says that it will reappear in your current life right now. 100%. It will reappear in your current life right now, and you'll have to go through these trials and tribulations again, but I do believe they'll be a lot easier than the way it was back then. So that's it for your collective past life reading. I know I went stagnant here, but I do want to get into the Dark Mirror Oracle deck. So let's get into that. Let's see. Spirit guides, spirit angels. What do they have to go through in their past life? What shadow work do they have to go through in their past life for pile 1? What did pile 1 have to go through? Wow. All right, here is your past life shadow work, what you had to work on and go through. And what is absolutely crazy is I just said fragment. I just said stagnant. Sorry, I said stagnant, and fragmentation came up. That's not coincidence. That's just telling me that you had to go through so many challenges that it had hindered your ability to grow and be wise. And what's crazy is we have the fated to suffer, and this is the Snow White getting the poison apple. And what did I pull? Poison. So yeah, this could be you, this could have been them, but they were offered something that was not good for them. But when I see fated to suffer, I 100% believe that This was a challenge that you had to deal with your whole life, knowing that this person passed or you passed from being poisoned. Fated to suffer, and the fragmentation, you were hindered a lot. And you, again, went through a lot of trials and tribulations that caused pain. And for that, you had to be strong. And this is like cold. This is a cold feeling. And on the bottom, we have today for tomorrow. So this is like you had to be a different person than what you truly felt inside. Because when I see this, I think there's just so much pain. There's just so much disappointment. And I had to present this cold outlook to everybody else that I was okay, but I really was not okay on the inside. I was a completely different person on the inside. And I think today, like I said, you have to show that side of you in your current life now, and show these emotions. And even if you go through the not same, but similar challenges, I feel like this is telling you need to be strong, and you need to invoke your emotions and show your heart, show this confidence in you, this passionate side in you. Because when I see the orange, I do believe it is the sacral chakra, but if it is not, regardless, I do believe this is like a confident color. This is bold, this is strong, this is like, let me pursue what I want to pursue and get through it. And even if I have these road bumps along the way, even if I break, my heart breaks and I'm suffering, I still need to be strong and open and loving and express that to the whole world. I mean, it's ironic we have the queen of my world on the bottom. This is saying, stand that ground, be that queen. You embody everything in feminine. You don't have to be a female though. If you are masculine right now, this is just saying to stand your ground and show what you got. Business-wise, career-wise, success-wise, show what you got and show that you can take control of your life and you can express how you feel. I am going to pull one more card, and it's going to be what you currently need to face through. And oh wow, okay, well that came out. Envious gluttony. So there may be an addicted's on the bottom. There may be people that are still trying to make you suffer, and you may have to open up with love again with that heart chakra. This is telling me that you have to open up with love regardless of what people do to you, regardless if people bring you down. You have to open up and not feel that envious jealousy feeling. I'm just feeling like rage. When I see that card, I think of like rage, and instead of like fueling yourself with love, you fuel yourself with rage, and maybe you get angry too fast. Maybe you have a short temper, but at the end of the day, this is telling me you have to love first. You can't be jealous of everybody because you're unique. You're different. I mean, again, I keep saying bold, but it's like you are popping. You're out there. And once the queen of my world shows itself, once you show yourself, this jealousy won't come anymore. And on the bottom, we have addicted and gluttony's here. So in moderation. I mean, I don't even want to say in moderation, but I just want to say if you feel in a downward spiral, if you feel depressed, if you feel these emotions, don't just keep them in. Because it's like when I see addicted and look at that revenge, I see it like bottling all your emotion inside of you. Let's bottle my emotion inside. Let's continue to be in despair. Let's continue to be down. Let's continue to just have these like feeding ways of just trying to cope. But at the end of the day, you can't keep feeding that. I mean, this is like, it's going to eat you up alive. Like, you can't keep feeding these things that do not need to serve you no more. And when I say things, I feel like it doesn't even have to be like drinking, smoking, or any of those things. I think it's like just negative, low energy ideals or negative, low energy thoughts. Even just dwelling on the situations and feeling this rage and wanting to indulge in it's not going to get you anywhere. Like, I feel like I need to say it's not going to get you anywhere. With the addicted, like, there's no need to mope. There's no need to feed these negative energies. What needs to be done is releasing them and expressing them and pushing through the coldness that you show, that you may like want to be like, I'm okay, I'm fine, but you're really not, because you're pissed off, you're upset that this person's doing better than you, or that look wise. I mean, when I see this, I think look wise, I think personal wise, success wise, like there may be a lot of hindrance for you, and then you see other people like blossoming. You're like, why is this happening to me? There's no need to feel this jealousy though. There's no need to feel this jealousy. Like, you've gone through so much challenges that you will continue to stand out, and your experiences will make the best of you. They will show everybody that you have wisdom, you have perseverance. This is the theme in your past life. And when I see that theme, that means you had to over accomplish it, and you will still over accomplish it to this day. 100%. But yeah, that is your past life reading. This is your shadow work, what, in the past you were, and even today, what you need to work on. So I really hope you enjoy it. Again, have a lovely day, and I will see you guys soon. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to today's past life reading. I'm going to start off with the crystal you guys selected. But I do want to make note of the decks we will also be using besides the past life tarot deck here. We're also going to be using the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards, and we are going to be using the Dark Mirror Oracle cards. I want to give a little shout out to ASO Tarot because I watched her past life reading and she pretty much inspired me to do this reading. And she did use these Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards to do the theme of the past life, and I am doing the same thing as well. But I will also be using the Dark Mirror Oracle cards just to explain what the shadow work you guys had to work on within your past life versus the shadow work you have to work on now. So that will be super exciting. But yeah, let's get started. We're just going to explain a little bit about the crystal, and then we'll get into the theme, the past life, and then we'll pull the Dark Mirror Oracles. Okay, so just to start off, you guys selected the clear quartz crystal, and I actually wear this crystal quite often. This crystal helps with clarifying your mind. If you have 1,000,001 thoughts flowing through your head, this is definitely the crystal to get if you want to clear your mind and make a concise decision. This clear quartz can help when you have a lot of negative thoughts, and it can transition them into positive thoughts. This crystal can also be used for meditation, for clearing energy. Besides using the selenite quartz, you can use the clear quartz here. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that little fun fact. Hopefully you guys would actually want to get yourself a clear quartz and use it for your everyday life and practice. You can wear it on your neck, you can put it in your palm. But I love collecting so many different types of crystals and learning about them, and I thought it'd be fun to give you guys some fun facts. So yeah, I'm just going to place that here, and then we're going to introduce the theme within your past life. So this will be the overall theme within your past life, and this card here is going to be the clarity card. So let's see. So yeah, I just want to start off with the theme within your past life, and it's insecurity. And we have the red and the yellow. So the yellow is the solar plexus chakra. I always say that wrong. And then the red is the root chakra. So the root is usually within your spine or on the bottom of, like, by your feet area. But how I see the root chakra is like with the spine. Unless that's the other chakra, but that's how I see it for now. Then we have the solar plexus chakra, and that's between your navel area. It's usually around your stomach. And those two colors I just wanted to bring to light. These are chakras, so if you're into chakras, you can look them up and learn more about them. But those two have to do with a lot of personal development. When I see the root chakra, I think of someone that has emotional, I don't want to say emotional disassociation, but when we have the facade, this is usually like you are hiding your true self. You're disassociating with your true self. And when we have insecurities, these are a lot of fears that get to you and cause you not to open up with that love. And that's why we have the little devil here. It's just showing that all these fears get to your heart and you don't open up. You know, you're closed off because you think the worst and you assume the worst. So yeah, with the insecurities and the facade, I definitely see it as hiding your true self. This facade photo, actually, when I read the interpretation of the photo, it had said that this little boy was actually the old man, and when he had passed away, he had reunited with his childhood self. So this may have to do with childhood trauma. This can also be interpreted as going through relationship trauma, because we have the insecurity here and the heart here, and he's wearing green, which is the heart chakra, but he's not opening up this love, and he's letting the fears get to them, and it's causing this person not to be confident, not to be this intellectual being that they are. So I definitely see your past life having to deal with a lot of judgment, and again, possibly traumatic events that have caused you to separate with your true childlike self, with what you love to do. I mean, when I think of, being in my childhood, I think of having, fun moments, seeing bright, beautiful colors, being spontaneous, opening up to everybody and everyone. And when I look at these two cards, I feel like it's like you pushed it to the back of your mind, inside of you, and you're being closed off to others. So again, this is within your past life though. So your past life may have had some insecurity issues where you weren't able to show that love that you give. You may have came off with the red, I see aggressive and like, don't touch me, don't get near me. And with the facade, I see that as I'm showing this mask, and I continue to show this mask my whole life until I reach this near time of wisdom and regain my childhood and recover and heal. So there's definitely a lot of healing here within yourself that you had to do within your past life. So yeah, let's get into the past life reading. I'm gonna start off with asking, I didn't do this in pile one, I wish I did explain what I was gonna do, but I'm gonna start off asking where you're from, who you were, and how you died. And we're gonna see what the results are. Ooh. All right, pile two. So I want to start off by saying this card immediately flew out. I don't know if the footage will be in here, but this card immediately flew out, and it is America. And that was the first question I asked. I asked, where were you guys from? And I asked who you guys were as a person and how did you die? And greed came out for how did you die. And on the bottom, it did show you guys the time frame your past life was in, and even underneath that is conflict. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's interpret what this could mean. So off the bat, it said where you're from, America. So you could have been born and raised in America. Is it Christopher Columbus or the natives? I think it's the natives. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the natives were here first. So you could be native, or you could have came from Christopher Columbus, but you were from America. Born and raised. That's what I keep thinking right now. And then we have Europe in reverse. I do want to explain why I put this in reverse. You could also be from Europe. You could be European, but when I pulled these cards, I asked, what type of person you were. So you may have been imprisonment, which would explain the reason why it's like insecure, because you never fully got to develop who you were. You were like stuck and tied down. And I mean, you may have time to like reconsider everything and like have time to process, but you may have never showed your true colors, because I would assume in a prison, in a jail back in the day, like even now, you have to be strong. You have to put on a tough facade, which is funny. I just said facade. I mean, we got facade here. So that may explain why you were insecure and so closed off back in your past life. And then we have Europe in reverse, which, if you can see here, is the star in reverse. And I do want to show these cards so we have prison, America, and we have greed. But yeah, for Europe, this deck is also a tarot deck. So it says here the star, and this is in reverse. So I do want to take it as a tarot card at this moment. I don't know why, it's just calling me to take it as a tarot card more than a place, but you could have been European. But when I see the star in reverse, star in reverse, I automatically think a bleak outlook on life, not being able to accomplish your dreams and your hopes and what you want to do. And maybe that's why you were in prison, imprisonment. And the death, we have this skull, and he's talking in this woman's ear, and I think he has something. I'm trying to see if he has he has a drink here. I think it's overindulgence. And you see in the background, there's like this fight. Again, with the conflict, I really felt the need to like look at the bottom and the conflict. So you may have been in some sort of conflict related to greed, money, indulgence. You may have, I keep thinking overdosed. You may have overdosed. You may have drank too much, alcohol poisoning when I see this, or, got into a conflict of interest with someone. Maybe you got into a fight and you were beaten to death. I'm seeing two different ways of passing, either fighting through conflict or overindulging in alcohol, or it could be the whole story of you were drinking so much and you got into a fight and you may have passed. But going back to the prison card, you could have been in prison for life, or you could have been in prison for such a while that you had to put a facade up and had to close off to everyone, and that probably caused this trauma for you. And even now in your current life, because I did relate it for pile 1, I'm totally going to relate it for pile 2. In your current life, you may still be going through these past life workings of trying to be open up, and trying to enjoy what you have now, even though you may be older, your childhood may have passed, or you could be a child right now and you're still trying to enjoy the moment and still open up. But I totally see this as working through your heart, working through your groundings, working through being open and loving, because probably in your past life, you had to put on this mask and put on this tough mask, and there may have been a lot of emotional trauma that led you to being overindulgent within whatever, drinking, smoking, there's drugs, like you may have overindulged in that area, and that caused you to either lose your life or cause other, conflicts and fights, and you could have been beaten to death, vice versa. Someone could have beaten you and hurt you, or found out that you maybe had money, or you had these drugs, or you had certain things that they wanted, because this greediness is the selfishness. And when we have greed and selfishness, we are once again not opening up to other people's perspectives. We're only opening to ourselves, and we're only pitying ourselves. And again, this is your past life. Like, this isn't you right now, this is your past life, and you may have gone to go through this, but we have the bottom of the deck here is the 17th century. So this could have been around the 17th century, and I see all these people talking, and I kind of see that as like they all discussed like how cold you were, they all discussed like who you were as a person. And I just keep looking at this person right here, and I'm thinking like, maybe that's you, maybe you were an outcast. Maybe like people just didn't get who you were, but you went through so much trauma and so much I'm just seeing differences that it caused you to have this strife. It caused you to be this outcast here, this loner, but it caused you to have to put on this tough persona to be like everybody else. When I see this card, I'm just totally thinking like everybody's like talking about you, discussing you, like, you know, look at this person, the way they're dressed and everything, like they're so out there, and it may have caused a lot of problems. People didn't get you. I'm totally seeing that. People didn't understand you. People didn't get you. You may have went through these hardships, been imprisoned, come from different backgrounds, because we have European and America. But this caused you to be selfish. This caused you to be selfish and closed off. And maybe people were upset about that. But again, the greed is overindulgence. So there's so many ways you could have passed, and I'm just seeing the overindulgence or getting into conflict and possibly being beaten to death, it's really sad. I'm so sorry to hear about this. Obviously, you're probably thinking, well, this is my past life, I didn't feel it. But you could be going through a repeated cycle. You could be breaking these cycles and understanding more about yourself and not putting on this mask and having this spontaneous time in your life to enjoy everything. And regardless of if you're an outcast or not, you're still gonna be you. You're still gonna be you, and you're still gonna do what makes you happy. Even if it comes off selfish, you know, back in your past life you dealt with that. So I don't think you are selfish now. You definitely dealt with that. That's the way you passed. You learned through that past life. So yeah, let's get into the Dark Mirror Oracle cards. So we're going to ask Spirit Guides, Spirit Angels, Universe, please tell us, what did Pile 2 have to work on? What did Pile 2 have to work on in their past life? Okay, Pile 2, I just picked what you need to work on today at the end. This is the third card here and the bottom of the deck for that. And then these two cards here are going to be what you had to work on in your past life. And the irony that we have prison right here and then bride in a cage, which is like being trapped again. So 110,000% you were somehow imprisoned, whether it was for your whole life or a short duration of time. You felt trapped in your past life, and you are gaining this sense of freedom in your current life, especially when I see the calling the storm and the peaceful among thorns. You have to gain this a sense of freedom and the strength to not be angry at others for not understanding. I 100% see that, because like I said, you had to deal with this selfishness in your past life, and maybe you even have to deal with it a little bit now, but this is telling me that in your past life, we have today for tomorrow. And Aphrodite, shout out to you. You told me today for tomorrow is two-faced, but when I'm looking at this card, I always see it as like you have one person, one side of you, this emotional side, and the other side is this like cold side. So when I see today for tomorrow, and you might have been resonated to pick pile 1, so if you do feel like, you know, you're also pile 1, go ahead and look at that. You can have more than one past lives. I had actually did a reading on myself, and I had 3 past lives, so you can have more than one past life. So if you did feel called to pile 1, go look at pile 1, because they did also pick today for tomorrow. So today for tomorrow is really about showing that emotional side of you, not being that two-faced person, but showing your true colors and coming out from the womb, not hiding it. You know, not, you know, one day I'm gonna be happy on the inside and show this coldness on the outside, or vice versa. You know, happy on the outside, but really you're hurting on the inside. You have to express, again, I always express that emotion. And the bride in the cage is like, when I see this, I keep thinking of the Miley Cyrus song, you know, don't F with my freedom. So I really, really feel that even today, you're dealing with having this freedom and having this confidence, but the Bride in the Cage tells me that in your past life, you were trapped once. Even with this marriage, you know, this white wedding gown, I just said marriage. So you could have been even trapped in your romantic life in your past life. You could have been in a really toxic relationship. I mean, with the greed, you could have been in a toxic relationship. There could have been a lot of alcohol and drugs involved in that relationship, and it may have kept you trapped and numbed to your pain. That's probably why we have the today for tomorrow. Numbing your pain where you didn't want to show it. Again, going back to these cards here in the beginning, your overall theme was not showing your true colors and not enjoying every moment in life like you did possibly enjoy it in your childhood within your past life. So that is definitely what you had to work on in your past life. Now, we did pull Calling the Storm for your current shadow work that you need to work on, and on the bottom is Peaceful Among Thorns. And even look at that, Naked Before the Stars. Oh yeah, the Naked Before the Stars is that blossoming card of like boom, and we had the star in reverse. So this is definitely pursuing your hopes, dreams, and renewals. What did I definitely say? Your past life, you didn't pursue that, and now you get to pursue what you want. Now you get to pursue your career, your dreams, what you desire, being sexy, being confident, whether you're man, woman, he, she, they, them, their. Sorry, I had to say all the pronouns. I stand for this. I totally stand for this energy right now and what you're working on. And Peaceful Among Thorns, like, gosh, you just want to be that peace and love person, that vibrant person that stands out, that pops, that's like, look at me. Even though I can be an outcast, it's in such a good way. It's in such a good way because I want that peace and love. I don't want these conflicts anymore. I don't want this fighting anymore. I want peace and I want understanding. And I think that's what you have to work on today. And let's see. So we have Calling the Storm. And when I see Calling the Storm, I had actually pulled this for myself, and it talks a lot about dealing with conflicts, handling them, being enraged. But when you look at the person and in their face, it's calm, it's composed, it's light, it's sensitive, but everything around them is chaotic. And this whole point of this card is to show that these challenges you may go through, these I'm just feeling like these challenges, the pain, the chaos, my life's so crazy, like my life is different. It's telling you that there's always going to be a rainbow at the end. There's always going to be a happy ending to those challenges that you have to go through. I keep thinking adversity. I don't know why that word comes up, adversity, and striving through. But with the Calling the Storm, Peaceful Among Thorns, it's definitely showing this transition that you had to go through a lot of chaotic situations, a lot of weird situations. I'm getting like, why would this happen to me? Like, my life is crazy. Like, XYZ happened and this would never happen in a million years, but of course it happens to me. And maybe like everything around you is you have to hold down the fort. You have to hold down the fort and try to be calm, composed, and collected. But this is also telling you that regardless of what situations you go through, you're always going to have a good outcome as long as you take a stance towards it, as long as you keep your calm and composureness, as long as you don't go on that rage, don't go on that vengeance. Everything around you is crazy. Don't be crazy back. Keep that worth within you, keep that happiness within you, keep that, love within you. I just looked at the insecurity here in the heart, and I'm just thinking, you can't be insecure. You gotta keep the fort down and be strong and show the security within you. Show that you're able to control the situations, even if they come in your life so like randomly. I'm totally thinking Tower moment here. It's like out of nowhere, spontaneous. There's a storm, the wind's blowing, everything's starting to circulate and happen, and now I need to take control of it, like the Chariot. I mean, I think, did we pull the Chariot here? We did pull the Chariot here as a tarot card, but regardless, maintaining those horses, keeping that balance, maintaining that control with whatever comes in your life out of nowhere, and keeping that peace, not starting more conflict, not stirring up the pot, just taking a step down, grounding yourself. Maybe you do meditation today. And if you don't, I highly recommend meditating. I highly recommend collecting your thoughts and not immediately shooting a bow and arrow towards everything, because everything around you is already chaotic. You don't want to add more fire to the fire. You just got to keep calm, keep a cool composure, take everything with a grain of salt, take it as you go, and just know there's always going to be a blessing for you in the end. Spirit, the universe, whatever you believe in, I just believe that the universe and spirit, they're not gonna make you go through these challenges and be down and pity yourself and for no reason, for no reason. There's always a reason to every challenge and obstacle you go through. And I see this as, well, there's a blessing in disguise. Like, you may have to deal with the craziness, but I promise if you keep this calm, cool composure, there'll be a blessing. And your blessing is you'll be able to have your dreams and have whatever you desire. Be that, embodiment of a sexy feminine energy. Even if you're a guy, again, whoever you are, you will embody that star. You'll be that star, possibly famous, who knows, possibly glowing up and going out there and showing off yourself and everyone thinking, wow, and everyone talking about you in such a good way. So yeah, guys, that's it for pile 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Sending much love your way. Of course, you can like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see instead. And yeah, I hope you have a nice rest of the day. Bye, guys. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your past life reading. I am so excited to be reading this today and giving you a collective on what your past life was about, where you were from, how did you die, what type of person you were. I just want to give a little quick announcement. We are going to be using these Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards, and I'll show you guys here if you are interested in getting them yourself. We are also going to be using the Dark Mirror Oracle cards as well. So the Chakra Oracle cards we're going to be using as the overall theme for your past life. And I do want to give a little shout out to Aso Tarot. I have to give credit where credit's due, and I did watch her past life reading. I felt super inspired to do my own past life reading for you guys, and she did use these cards to describe their overall theme for their past life. And so I'm going to be doing the same thing, but of course a little twist, because we have the past life tarot deck here that we're going to be using, and then these Dark Mirror Oracle cards are going to show us what shadow work we had to do in our past life versus the shadow work we are doing today. So we'll end with that, give you guys a little bit of advice on what to work on and look forward to in the future. But yeah, so let's get started. I'm going to start off by explaining the crystal. So we have here the crystal with half obsidian and half amethyst. Now, obsidian usually removes the negative energy. It protects any psychic negative attacks or just negative energy towards you in general. It eliminates that and it allows you to be grounded and have a revelation in your decisions. So I had said this in pile 1, but besides having the clear quartz, the obsidian also does the trick in blocking any negative energy. Now, we also have half amethyst, and the amethyst, I always call it the intuition, third eye stone, crystal. And I absolutely love this crystal because it gives you that guidance, that intelligence and power that you need to clearly decide on your intuition. I totally see the amethyst stone as helping you grow into your psychic ability. And yeah, so that's just a little bit of some fun facts about the 2 stones you have here. Crystals. I keep going back and forth with it. But the 2 crystals you guys have here. And it's very important to note that you may want to get either one of these crystals. And I will, put that down below, the name of the crystal. But you may want to get the obsidian or the amethyst in helping you block any negative energy or helping you regain your intuition. So yeah, I'm going to put that up here. And then we have the 2 cards on your theme for your past life. So this one here is going to be the overall theme, and then I pulled a clarity card to help me decipher this. And I will explain the chakras a little bit. If you don't know about chakras, you can look these chakras up and learn more about it, because it definitely helps you balance your life. So let's see. What is the first? Okay. So the first card we have here, the overall theme is discovery. And this is the red. Oh, I believe this is the root. Oh my gosh, the root chakra. Yes, this is the root chakra here, which is from the ground up, which is like the feet area, the base of your spine. And then we have, okay, we haven't had this one today, but this is creation, and this is a part of the crown chakra. So the crown chakra starts at the top of the head, and the crown chakra actually is about spirituality and divination and the divine of the universe, connecting with spirituality and your creativity within yourself. And we have the root chakra. This is all about building that groundness. This is all about building yourself. This is about growing. This is about new blessings within the journey and love, having that love. Because I did say in the previous pause before, if you don't have that balance of your root chakra, you may not want that affection. You may not want that love, and you may not have that willpower. So here we are. We have discovery and creation. And what's interesting here for your overall theme is discovery is a part of a journey. This is a huge journey in completion, because we have creation. This is like the end of the cycle of finally having these creative thoughts and ideas, but both of them have an overall message of releasing past ideas, past lives, past trauma, past hurt. When it comes to both of these cards, they're releasing all the old thoughts and bringing new ones into place. And with creation, this is definitely creative minds, creative talents you have here. So you may be creative and artistic yourself, or musically talented yourself. But in general, I mean, you could be doing divination. You could be spiritually inclined and growing your spirituality. With this, it's saying that you have to learn to bring that creativity. Continue to shed the old ideas and the old thoughts and the past harbor resentments, and build new creative ideas, have new creative minds. Honestly, I keep saying it in plural as if it's like you and other people around you. It's like you want to divulge yourself in that love. I mean, we go to discovery. This is all about growing in that love, emerging in oneself, being empowering. When I see this card here, I've read the story about the discovery card, and this person here lost somebody. They lost somebody, their love of their life, and they have to learn to love within themselves, have that inner work within themselves. And even though they beg, for their love of their life to come back, they realize at the end of the day, they are the love. They are love, And so when I see discovery and creation, I see this emerging, growing in oneself. I see this healing within oneself. I see this opening up to new endeavors, new journeys, new beginnings, and I see a closing of past ties. So your overall theme in your past life may have had to be inner growings and workings within yourself and being creative. You may have been a talented person back in your past life. So yeah, let's get into the past life reading. So we are going to ask, where is pile 3 from in their past life? Let's see. Okay. All right, pile 3. So we have your past life reading here. Of course, I asked where you guys were from, what time you were born or raised in, and how you passed away, and in general, like what type of person you were. So immediately we had gotten the Father in reverse, which is the Emperor in reverse. So we had the Father, then we have America, then we have before Christ in the time frame, which is very interesting. And then we have loss as to how you died. And I pulled this card because it was calling to me. This is friendship in reverse. I think this is like in general the type of person you were, and who you had around you. Which honestly, when I see friendship in reverse, you may have not had that many people in your life. And then we have on the bottom justice and religion. So, going back to these cards here, I also wanted to mention, because creation and discovery, I mean, this is all about the journey. This is all about the path you are on. And this is being committed in a way, because you're committed to loving yourself. And I thought I'd just bring that up because we have religion on the bottom of the deck here. And then we have Father and before Christ in America. So what I'm trying to get at is, honestly, I do believe you were a masculine energy in your past life. So even if you're like a girl right now, you're thinking, what the heck? Yeah, you may have been a guy in your past life, or you just have been a masculine energy. You could have been a girl that was just very masculine. There's so many different ways I can go around that. But in general, you were a masculine energy. You may have been a father to kids. You may have had to raise kids, or you may have had to just put on the big girl pants and own it. Yeah, again, raising kids and being that masculine. Now, this is saying America and before Christ. So you potentially have been born and raised in America, have withstand everything. You could have been a native, or you could have came, I mean, because it says before Christ. So obviously, I don't want to speak into religion and stuff like that, but in general, you were before, BC, Christ, before everything had arose and came through. Again, I don't want to speak within religious tones because not everybody believes in certain things here, but you were way back in the decades. You were way back before America had become America. That's why I say you could just be native, born and raised in America. And your death here with the loss and the friendship in reverse, this is just telling me, and it sounds so sad, which it makes sense as to why this is saying you're theming your life. I do believe, like 110,000%, that you may have lost your friends, lost your lovers, or you may have never even had a lover, or you could have just been divorced, because I see the kids here. So you could have had a family and been divorced, and you may have died alone. I'm just getting that from the loss and mourning. Like, this person is crying. I feel like it's like crying in their bed, crying alone. Like, they're naked, they're exposed. Again, with the discovery, this person's naked as well. It's like you exposed yourself to the max and you still felt like it wasn't enough. I am totally getting depression. I'm getting a lot of insecurity feelings, because when we have creation here, it's like you were probably this father that wanted to inspire, masculine energy that wanted to inspire others, but you were born in such a time where there was not this understanding. I just feel like there wasn't this, there wasn't this understanding for you. And like, you may have had everything you could possibly had, you had kids, you went through the repercussions of because I see justice here, so I'm like, you went through repercussions, you went through blessings, you went through people left and right, you believed in religion, very important to you back then. I mean, religion was a very important thing back in the day, and you may have sacrificed everything and went through every little event in the book, whether it be having the family, whether it be being successful, at that time, but I just feel like it was never enough. I just feel like it was so never enough, and you just kept thinking, well, what's so important about me? Like, what is so important about me? When really you had these creative gifts, you had the inspiration, you shared it with everyone. And there's so many people in here. I feel like you went through a lot of people. Like, when I said friendship reverse, you probably went through so many people and had so many friendships and had so many experiences that in the end, you know, you died alone. I hate to say it like that, it sounds so depressing, but to me it just feels like you met so many people in your life and you still felt like it was never enough, honestly. Because we have friendship in reverse, so you may have chose the seclusion life. You may have had a lot of friends but chose that seclusion life. You may have suffered from depression. I'm just getting that with the cards. I mean, we have this gray here, we have gray here, we have like this light and brightness with the Christ, because I feel like everything is like slowly unraveling. People are learning what life is about. But I feel like as much as you learned, it was just never enough. Like, you stuck to your guts. You were stable. You were able to do what you needed to do, yet it never made you happy. And I think that's why your theme in here is about finding that inner self-worth, finding that love, finding that commitment, being a part of the journey, going through cycles, being creative, releasing old thoughts. I think that's why that was your theme in your life, because you went through these obstacles, you went through these challenges, you went through these I keep saying events, like you went through so many different things. It's like you tried everything in the book, but nothing made you happy. Nothing made you happy. And you ended up being alone. You were at a loss for what life was, and you ended up being alone. And again, I'm so sorry to hear about that. You know, this is your past life, and this is something that you may work through even now, today. I said this in every pile, but you may have to work through this today in your life, still having to fulfill finding what makes you happy and committing to it, and realizing that you are a creative person, you are a gifted person, and you shared that gift with so many people, and you still questioned, am I even enough? Yes, you were enough. But at this past life, you know, before Christ, there's so many different beliefs now, and back then there was just this strict way of thinking everything. And I think because of that, it caused you to be down. It caused you to be put down, and again, could have lost your loved one, could have been divorced from them, could have lost a lot of friends, went through like so many people, so many changes, that instead of you growing and trying to love you, you know, I just feel like the journey was unfolding. You were starting to love yourself, but at the same time, you died alone. Like, you still didn't, you know. I just keep getting that like feeling. It's like we were almost there. We almost realized something. We almost had this epiphany, and then too late. We have the justice in reverse. It's like, I mean, you didn't go to prison here. I believe me, I had another palette for that. But you went through the ratifications of life, and you may have had to stand up for things, or you may have had to have justice for you. You know, you may have been ridiculed for certain things that you needed to find justice within. And with the religion, it's like you strongly believed in your beliefs, you strongly defended yourself. But again, I just feel like eventually everybody left, and all you had was you alone, grieving, mourning, being depressed, and you may have died in your sleep, but you sure did die alone. So this is your overall past life reading. I hope you did, collectively take all of it in and just understand that this was in your past life. It's over, it's done with now. Hopefully that will never happen again to you because it already did happen. And let's get into your Dark Mirror Oracle cards, the shadow work you had worked on in the past, and what you need to, continue to work on now. So let's see. Okay, pile 3. So I felt very compelled to pick 4 cards for you guys. You guys are lucky because the past couple of piles, I didn't pick as many, but I felt very compelled to pick 4 cards for you guys. This one flew out. This is I Won't Cry for You. And then we have these two, Queen of My World, Colorless Angel, and Fated to Suffer. That was in the bottom of the deck. And I like to pull the bottom of the deck always. Sometimes there's like some key hints to the overall message that spirit or the universe wants you to know. So the shadow work in your past life, again, I Won't Cry for You and Colorless Angel shows to me that you kept this emotion in words. You really kept this pain inside of you. And I think that's why, this is like dead, colorless. There's no color to it. There's no like brightness to it. The only thing that's bright is the pain that you're feeling. That's why it's red. That's why her eyes are emotional here. But the colorless and the loss, that totally matched up to me, and it really hit me there in confirming that you felt dead inside. You felt numb inside. And the Queen of My World, it matches with the discovery. It's in red. That root chakra is really strong here. And when I see Queen of My World, I see that as someone that's standing their ground, being independent, saying, you know what, this is me and this is who I am, and everyone's gonna like it because I rule this planet, And when I see that, I totally see that as you were committing to owning that love, to owning who you are. But it's pointing in a way towards the colorless angel and the fated to suffer. It's saying, even though you felt this pain inside and you were like, I won't, I'm gonna be tough. I won't cry. I won't feel this emotion going through all these events that I did go through. And I will stand for myself. I will stand strong. I will stand proud. I will own the love that I deserve. I will self-love. It's pointing towards here because at the end, you felt numb inside. You felt like the color was drained from you, that you were gone. After all these events, after all these obstacles, you felt done. And because fated to suffer, it was just meant to be this way. In that divine time, you were just meant to go through all the pain and trauma within your past life. It's very hard to see that, fated to suffer. You were fated to go through these pains. You were like these growing pains. I totally sensed they're like growing pains for you. But they drained the life out of you. They drained everything you freaking put in your life. You put all this energy and emotion. You started to grow and build. And right before you could fully complete and love and embody that love, it got drained out of you because of more things that were hurting you, backstabbing you. I see the friendship in reverse, okay? And what's even underneath this? What is this? Europe, okay. European, but what is this? The star in reverse? Again, the star in reverse, I pulled that last time. I just really sense that you may have had some backstabbing friends in your past life. Friends that you may have trusted with everything, and instead of them giving you love, they gave you, this is supposed to be a poison apple like Snow White, but they gave you pain, gluttony, envious, I just keep thinking of atonement, which is backstabbing pain. And you were like, I'm gonna be strong. I won't cry. I'm gonna keep my pride up. You think I'm really hurting? I'm not, and I'm gonna stand for what I want. But in the end, it did drain you. You were depressed. You were alone, and it saddened you. You may, you died alone. You may have died in your sleep. You may have died from a broken heart. I just, because I see the heart, and this is like drained and done. You may have died from a broken heart. But with the fated to suffer, this was just meant to happen in its timing. And I think in your present life, and we're going to pull again, but in your present life, I really do believe that you are working on this now. You are learning to be committed and open up and being uplifted and having that motivation to do what you want to do and be creative and let go of the insecurities and embody that love. Embody that emotional connection between the world and you. Doesn't matter if people are with you, doesn't matter if you're a partner, because this is like you died alone here. So you're not gonna, fingers crossed, you're not gonna die alone in your present life today. So let's see, what is the current shadow work you are going through right now? Spirit guides, spirit angels, what is the current shadow work that these people in pile 3 are going through? I keep wanting to pull this one out. Okay. Calling the storm. Oh wow. I called it. Oh my goodness. I so called it. We have calling the storm, hiding your true self. What did I say? And we have a lot of red here. I don't know. I'm getting this feeling that you should really look up root chakra and work on your root chakra. You may be at an imbalance because there's so much red in this deck. And like I haven't pulled this for any of the piles this much before, but there's a lot of red colors, which is like bold, pop, self-worth, self-love. And then on the bottom is the temple of my body. Again, talking about appreciating yourself and who you are and your body image. Wow. Again, with the nakedness, exposureness, like 3 times here. There's definitely a pattern within that. And I think maybe you are afraid to open and show who you are. You have body image problems. You may be suffering with your body. Like you may feel like you're overweight, underweight, whatever the case is. Spirit is totally the spirit's just giving me this vibe that you need to love yourself. You need to open and appreciate your body because you only got one body. And girl, we gotta work it. Boy, we gotta work it. Whoever you are, we have to work it. We have to work it and love and grow in ourselves. And I think this creation here is kind of signifying like you're created beautifully. You're created individually. You're unique. And you have to own that uniqueness. So we have calling the storm and hiding your true self. Again, it's right on top of the Queen of My World. I think you are going through a repeated cycle. I really do think so. Not saying, again, the death part, but I just think the shadow work is kind of being repeated in your present life. And the reason why I say that is because in order to undo the hiding your true self, you have to own it and be the Queen of My World. And I think Spirit wants you to complete what you had started in your past life. You were almost there. You were almost in that self-love, in that embodiment of the universe, spiritually divine, spiritually elevated. And you were the boss. You were the boss. You were doing everything you could do, being successful or whatnot. But when I see hiding your true self, it's like, let me just be closed in. Let me not show these feelings, show these loves, and let me just show my, again, shadow side. And I think that shadow side was the I won't cry for you. the hiding the pain. Like the pain shows, but then it doesn't show because you continue to deny it. You continue to deny it, and you continue to think that there may be something more out there for you to move forward on. But I feel like Spirit's just saying, like, you can't rely on other people. Like, you can't rely on other people to make these tears go away. You have to make you yourself happy and put your foot down and be like, I am this boss. I am this person who can move everything around me. Because we have the calling the storm. I pulled this for the last reading, actually. When we have the calling the storm, this is like everything around me is chaotic. Everything around me is crazy, and I have to hold the fort down. But this person is calm. This person is composed. Again, we have gray. I just noticed we have a gray hat on here, and this is the gray here. So definitely need to look into the root and crown chakras. But this is talking about being balanced. I feel like this is like being balanced within your emotions, because we have 2 here, and I think we pulled, if I'm not mistaken, we pulled like a 22. Yep, we pulled a 22 here. So there's a lot of like synchronies with, and 2 is about being balanced. I am balanced. I am yin yang. And oh my God, I just realized we have justice. And justice, again, the balancing here, and that's Libra. So air sign energy here. But when I see this, I really do think you have to balance your emotions and so mind and heart, basically. I was gonna say intellectualness, but really it's mind and heart. You have to balance the 2 and make sure that when there are these chaotic things happening in your life, that you're able to not only show your emotion, but think smartly with it. I feel like when I see the calling the storm within the mind, thinking mentally, like, how can I make things right and also express in the most balanced way possible, in the most proper way possible. With the temple of my body, this comes into play because this is saying, like, I mean, this person's the hands, like, I just feel like you may have like a part of you that's like you're really insecure about, that you don't want people to see, like, for sure. Because I see the hands and I'm like, ooh, they're a little weird, but they're cool. They're cool. If I were to look at those hands and those beautiful nails, and the blue hair here, like, this is so unique, and she may take it as these insecurities that I want to hide. But, and even the bottom, look, it's obsession in reverse. Yeah, you may definitely be like nitpicking yourself. Even with this, they're looking at the hands. She's looking at the hands. Like, you can't nitpick. You can't, keep calling out the things that you feel so insecure about. You just have to own it and accept it and embody that love. Be open. I mean, this person's naked, and I feel like maybe you should be walking around naked sometimes and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I am everything. But with the calling the storm, there's always going to be certain problems that come about, certain obstacles that come about, and you have to look at the brighter side on the other side. I'm literally thinking of Little Peep right now. I think it's, my goodness, with XX Tentacion. Gosh, I can't remember the song. I'm going to just put the song on the screen here. Oh my goodness, I can't think of it right now. But that song embodies the rain falling and there being a rainbow, there being happiness at the end. Like, everything is depressing, we're watching everything fall apart, but we continue to grow, we continue to be strong, and also show our emotions, show how we feel, and not be insecure. This is definitely like hiding yourself. Like, this is definitely about you opening up. This is opening up to life, opening up to these opportunities, accepting if, stuff happens, it happens. Let it happen. Let it go. I'm not even thinking like you should hold down the fort. I'm thinking you should let it be free and balanced and express. Yeah. Express, be open, balance. This shadow working here is all about doing that, because in order for you to complete your past life, you're gonna have to embody that queen of the world. You're gonna have to show those tears. You're gonna have to let the chaos happen. Let it happen, because it'll benefit you in the long run. It'll benefit you and it'll allow you to open up and show people who you are and embrace the insecurities you have. And don't be so obsessed about it. Don't nitpick it. Don't get crazy. Like, you're the only one that can see this most of the time. Not everybody can see this and take that as an insecurity. Some people may think it's so unique, and you may have had struggling issues with your relationships because you don't show your true self. They think you're like every other person. I don't know why I feel called to say that, but I feel like it's like they think you're like every other person. Like, when really you're the most unique person and creative mind that anyone has probably ever met. Like, be strong, embody that queen. Whether you're a male or female, whatever, embody that feminine energy. That's what I have to leave you guys with. So, thank you so much for listening to me rant, hear this collective reading on your past life, and I really hope you did enjoy it. If you have any comments, concerns, questions, if you liked something, if you didn't like something, if you want to see something new on my channel, feel free to comment down below, give this a big thumbs up, and of course subscribe. I will be posting more. But yeah, thank you guys so much, Pile 3. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. And just remember to embody that love and that feminine energy, that feminine divine, because you can get there again. I believe in you guys. So yeah, have a lovely day. Bye. Hello, Pile 4, and welcome to your collective past life reading. I am super excited to do this reading. You are the final pile, and honestly, I picked this pile, so we're gonna see what my past life is too. I had already did past life readings for myself prior, and I had 3 of them, so I wouldn't be surprised if I had like 10 past lives. And again, if you feel called to any of the other piles, feel free to look at them, because you may have that past life as well. You know, we're not all bound to one past life. We can have unlimited number of past lives. So yeah, let's get this started. I do want to make a little quick announcement. We are going to be using the Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards, which we have here, to describe your overall theme of your past life. And I've been repeating this in every pile reading, but I do want to give credit where credit's due. Shout out to Aso Tarot, because I was really inspired by her watching her past life reading, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do what she did. She used these cards, the chakra cards, and read the overall theme for their past life, and I thought I'd do the same thing, but with a little twist, obviously, because we're going to be using the past life deck. And we are also going to be using the Dark Mirror Oracle cards, and these are shadow deck cards. So we are going to be pulling what shadow work you had to do in your past life and what shadow work you're working on today, and that will be the overall advice for you guys at the end. I know this is dark and it might come off scary, but trust me, it's definitely to help you guys learn and grow within yourselves. So we're going to be pulling those at the end, but we are going to start off with introducing the crystal you guys chose, and then getting into the overall theme of your past life. Then we're going to be pulling the past life tarot reading here, and then we'll do the Dark Mirror Oracle cards. So let's get into your crystal. We have the beautiful Spear Rose Quartz. This is pink, so if you cannot see it or if it looks dark in the camera, I apologize, but this is a beautiful pink rose quartz. And if you didn't know, the rose quartz is all about love. So this is love, self-healing, embodiment within yourself. This is healing within your heart. This is opening up your heart chakra here. I mean, it's opening up many chakras, but when I think of the rose quartz, I always think of the love within your heart. So yeah, if you are going through like self-healing issues or like insecurity, or you're just trying to get over a breakup or learning to open up to people, this is the crystal for you. And I just wanted to give a little fun fact out there, because if you do want this crystal, you can certainly get it, and you can hold it in your palm or put it near your heart. I like to hold it in my palm and just feel the energy of that love coming from the rose quartz. So yeah, I'm gonna put that over here, and we are going to read your overall theme for your past life. Now, this is the overall theme for your past life. It's this card here. And this second card I pulled is a clarity card to help fuel additional information or insight within this past life. We have the self-worth card. And I find that very ironic given that we just discussed what the rose quartz is about, that love and that self-healing. And we have self-worth as your overall theme in your past life. Pretty cool. And this is the sacral chakra. I actually have the crystal here for the sacral chakra, but this is all about your sexuality, sensuality, and really finding that confidence in yourself to express yourself and own it. Honestly, when we have self-worth here, there's a chair waiting to be seated on. Like, this is, I feel this embodiment of knowing who you are and gaining that confidence to own who you are and not feel guilty for anything you do. That's what I definitely feel when I have the sacral chakra here. That's about sexuality, creativity, and embodiment of confidence within yourself. And then we have balance. Okay, so balance is the purple color here. That's the third eye chakra. And I just want you to know the sacral chakra is in your private area. And then the balance, which is the third eye chakra, that's at the temple, like between your eyebrows, right above your nose. That's your third eye, which is your intuitive eye. That's what I always call it. But yeah, we have balance and self-worth. So when I look at the two of these off the bat, I see it as not knowing yourself. And these people are mad. I feel it as not knowing yourself and continuing to choose not the wrong direction, but just pushing people away. When I see the self-worth here, like, there's a throne that needs someone to sit in. And you are that person that wants to sit in that throne, that wants to embody that confidence, that wants to embody who you are, but is afraid to step forward. And the balance, this is all about mind and heart, mind and matter, balancing the two. This card here, I actually read the story for this balancing card here. And basically this person became an actor, had to sign a contract, and chose to follow this quote-unquote illusion and not realize what the most happiness they had was right in front of them. And that was all the people they loved, their friends, their family, which again, this is crazy. The blue is communication, the throat chakra, the green is the heart chakra, and the brown, I consider the brown like the gray, like the crown, but I know, I'm just alluding my mind to that, but I see more than one chakras in here. And I totally feel that your past life, you had to make decisions that you felt like were the better for you, but actually cost your happiness. And I think that's why the self-worth is here. I think the self-worth is here because you chose to make decisions that would not only hinder yourself, but push other people away. You had to make a knowledgeable decision. You had to make an intellectual decision in your past life. But I think it drained your confidence. I think it drained your stamina to keep going. I really do believe you may have followed like the wrong path, or like something that like seemed too good to be true. You chose it, you selected it, and then when you found out it wasn't good to be true, or you got the bad end, it really kicked you in the butt and brought your creative level down, brought your confidence level down, brought your self-worth in general down. I think that's the irony of you picking the rose quartz. You want that love and that self-healing and that balance between you and everybody else around you. So yeah, that is balance and self-worth. That's what the theme is in your past life. Now we're going to move these to the side. And we are going to pull for the past life reading. So let's see. Where are you from? How did you die? Who you were as a person and what time frame. All right, pile 4. So we have your past life reading. Of course, I did pull more cards than the rest of the pile, but that was because I was really trying to indulge and find out how you passed. And it was actually a little confusing at first because I see the apathy and I'm like, were they depressed? Were they in bed when this happened? But looking at this bottom of the deck here, we have South America, which is the moon, and that's deceitfulness. We have slavery underneath that, and then we have the strength in reverse. So that's definitely how you passed. We'll get into that. I just wanted to make it clear why I pulled more cards for you guys than the rest of the piles. Very lucky to have that opportunity. But yeah, let's get into this. So in your past life, you may have had a son or you were a son. Now, this could also mean in your current life, you may have the son reincarnated. And when I say that in the sense that you may have a son of your own, or you may be that son with the father who was in a past life, if that makes sense. Father, son, mother, son, either one of you guys may have been in your past life, and this is a reoccurring cycle here. This is definitely a reoccurring cycle here because once I saw the apathy, and I did read about it a little bit before I talked to you guys, just because I wanted to get clarity on what I was feeling, and this was exactly what I was feeling here. Like, this is the depression because they didn't get a chance to do what they wanted to really do. So this is another pile. I think it's pile 3. And maybe pile 2, but it's reoccurring in your current life right now. This is the sun, hearing spirit, but this is the sun is reoccurring in your recent life. So either you were the sun in a past life or you just had a son. And it's reoccurring in this present life where you may have a son in the future, or you are the son, and your father or your mom, they are reincarnated with you. So it's very interesting to point that out here. I guess, being the boy, you were definitely a very young souled spirit. Regardless of if you were a son or you had a son or not, you were a very young energetic spirit because you had to take care, or you were the son, Turkey and Europe came up, and Greece. So we have 3 different places to pick from, all within the 16th century, but immediately my eyes just go to Turkey. I really feel like majority of you are from Turkey, and I think this Europe is talking about the star itself. We've gotten the star 3 times today, and I'm really surprised. This is definitely saying that you wanted to succeed in your hopes, dreams, and renewals, but you were not able to succeed everything. And the reason why I'm saying the star is because if you look here, we have the star. This is also a tarot deck, and I feel really called for this card to take it as a tarot card instead of a past life card. But of course, you could have been from Europe. I'm just really sensing that this is meaning the hopes and the dreams and renewals that you wanted, you were never able to fully complete. You never got a chance to complete the dreams that you wanted to pursue, the actions that you wanted to take. And maybe that was because you had a son. I really feel like majority of you guys had a son, and then I feel like there's like 25% of you guys that was a little boy that was affected in life. because we have the self-worth and the balance here, this is all about embodying who you are and realizing what you wanted. Because the balance is telling me that you may have had some impulsive behavior where you're like, this is what I wanted to do, this is what I want to make it happen, but then you forget about everything else around you. And you need that support, you need that love and acceptance to make that self-worth happen. You needed that little boost. Like, you were the only one that could see it and no one else could see it. But you needed that support and that help from others. And I definitely see that here with the apathy. You realize you never got to complete your full dream. It's like you really try to pursue it, maybe selfishly, but there may have been things that got in the way of it, or you may have been not fully appreciating what was around you to grow in your self-worth. Because when we have self-worth here tied with the sun, tied with the strength in reverse, this was saying that you might have had like an obstacle that really put you down. Like, it was an illusion. It pulled you off your feet, where you lost your self-worth and you had to regain it. And Spirit wanted you to have people around you to help you. Spirit wanted you to have your family. Maybe that's why the sun's here, because you had family ties that were around with you, that you raised, that you helped, or that you were in. Again, we have Turkey, Europe, and Greece. So these could have been the locations. And the 16th century, which is around the time. But the strength is in reverse. We have South America on the bottom of the deck, which is the Moon Tarot card. I'm feeling called to use this as a tarot card here. And slavery. This, to me, represents that your death may have had to been through some type of enslavement, not necessarily saying you were a slave. You could have been enslaved and you could have been hurt. The Hermit's in reverse, and I keep thinking of the Achilles ankle. Like, when I see this, I'm literally thinking of the ankle like some little I'm just getting this sense, some little injury that actually caused you to bleed to death, that actually caused you to have a painful death, that made you super vulnerable. Because the strength is in reverse. This is like you were injured somehow. You were injured. That's how you died. You were injured and you either bled to death. I mean, remember, this is the 16th century. I don't even, what type of medicine did they have? I'm wondering. I don't even think they really had medicine like that. But I really do believe they didn't have a cure or a treatment for the injury that you suffered, and that's how you passed. 100%. And that's why we have the apathy. You never got to fully complete your dreams. You may have had a son, or you were in a, youthful spirit as a child, and you got injured, and that's how you passed. You were never able to fully live your life throughout. That's what I'm totally sensing from. It was like you got the blanket pulled off of you, and you drowned in that self-doubt, and then you got hurt and passed. That's what I'm literally sensing right now from this reading. And the moon is the lies, deceit, and deception, but it is also South America, so you could be from there too, but I'm taking it as deceitfulness. You were enslaved. You may have been, controlled. You may have, because this is saying you were potentially the masculine, but then we also have a female energy here. So you may have partaken in masculine and feminine energies, just like the justice is, I'm saying justice because I see the balancing here, the balancing scales. But I really think that this also represents you were a little bit of femme and you were a little bit of masculine. So this can go both ways. You could have been a female in your past life and a male in your past life. But I see female, male, male. So it's it can go either way. 50% of you guys were a male, a guy, and the other 50% of you guys were a female. And again, I do believe your death was tragic. It was painful. Seeing this here, this light come out on the throne, I wouldn't be surprised. there was no cure for it, and you had a painful ending. This is like suffering. Like, you were weak, you were immobile, and you may have saw the light. You may have saw something spiritually. I'm totally feeling that with the third eye energy here. You may have saw that realization as you were passing. I am just really sensing that here. So I actually just want to, we have slavery, and then we have South America. I actually just want to confirm. Oh, look at that, sister. That's a sign. You were either a son or you were either a sister, male or female. That's a sign here. I'm just going to leave all these cards here for you guys to pick and choose. But I do want to confirm if you did die the way you died. So spirit guides, spirit angels, just a confirmation card on how they passed. Yep. Oh my goodness. Yes, and this 19th century, we don't need that. I 100% think it's just this card here. Greed and apathy. These two cards had symbolized that you did not get what you wanted. You chose selfish needs, and you did not get what you wanted. But the greed is what overindulgence, fighting. I pulled this for one of the piles here. Either overindulgence, or you got into a fight with someone. Again, someone controlled you. This is, I'm totally sensing, instead of it being, like you overdosed or you got beaten to death. I mean, potentially you could have gotten beaten to death, but there was some control over you. 100%, this controlling person was over you. And you may have gotten injured in trying to fight for your life and fight for yourself. That was that confirmation card for me. And it had said, if you get apathy or greed, or even if it ties in with the strength, that means you were either injured, you had selfish decisions, and you never got what you wanted, and you overly indulged in that. So again, this is just confirming that you definitely did pass without completing what you needed to complete. But I'm looking at this background strongly. You were controlled by someone. There may have been a fight. You may have been fighting for your life. You may have been trying to defend yourself, and you got injured, and it caused a painful death, a vulnerable death. That's why the strength is in reverse. It's vulnerability. This vulnerability came out on you when you passed. And I'm so sorry to hear about that. That's very hard to just even think about in this day and age, now that we have the medicine and works of things to cure people. Back then, they didn't. So yeah, this is your overall collective past life reading. So overall, you could have been masculine or feminine. You were born in the 16th century, either in Turkey, Europe, or Greece. But again, I was just sensing like majority of you guys are from Turkey. And how you died, you were injured and you either bled to death or you just had a painful death in general. Something so small. I just keep thinking of the Achilles. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was just a slit or something so small that ended up like you could not treat yourself for. And you may have been controlled by someone, overindulgence, and choosing selfish needs. And I think what Spirit wanted you to do, not to say you can't choose these selfish needs, I think Spirit wanted you to have a balance of your self-worth and supported and loved by others. Because, that support would have maybe warned you, that this dream, this guy signed a contract and he got the wool pulled over him. Like, I really feel like that support and that assistance would have helped you avoid it. And I think in this current life now, I'm calling it right now, I think that the people around you are here to help you get stronger, get better, and continue to love yourself at a level where you're not too prideful and too greedy. Like, let me say that. Not saying you are, but I just sense in this past life, like, you may have been. So if that's done and over with, you may be finding a self-worth level that's totally attainable and balanced. So yeah, let's get into the Dark Mirror Oracle cards. Okay, guys. So I had asked, what shadow work did you have to work on within your past life? And the first card we had here is envious and gluttony. Then we have forgetting oneself. And I just have to say, isn't it ironic that the colors are matching? Not surprised. And then on the bottom, I felt drawn to look at the bottom. We have obsession. And even underneath that, naked before the stars in reverse. Oof, yeah, obsession. Here's what I have to say to this. At one point in your past life, you were very confident. You were very prideful. You had this high platform of knowing who you were. Like, the obsession, I see that as you were, like, it's pointing at these people here. You were obsessed with yourself. You were obsessed with yourself at one point or another. You actually accepted and loved yourself and had so much, like, worthy of, like, what you wanted to do. However, I do believe once you had this significant event where the illusion was showing, you realize, oh my gosh, this is not what it was. This was not what it said it was. You lost your self-esteem. You lost your pride, the insecurity showed, and you forgot. Again, this is just looking drowned out. Like, both of these cards, like, their face is just drowned and dead and sad and feeling like, wow, like, I didn't do this and I don't even know anymore what I can do. Like, that's what I'm just thinking. Like, in your past life, you're probably like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I don't know if I deserve anything anymore. Like, with the self-worth, it's all about deserving this. And I feel like you got to a point where you felt like you didn't deserve anything and you didn't know who you were. And that's why we had the forgetting oneself. You lost yourself in the midst of going through these things. Instead of standing strong and standing tall and doing what you came to do, you went backwards and drowned out in what everybody else was doing. Not to say, like I said, you need that support and that assistance and that love, the rose quartz, that love from other people. But I think you were individually, like, unique, and maybe you felt like your dreams were never going to get there, and you saw everybody else doing what they wanted to do, but you were lost in the midst of it. And then we have envious gluttony. So again, you saw everybody else and what they succeeded in and what they accomplished, and you were jealous. You envied what they had, and what they had was self-worth, and you lost that. You lost that when the wool was pulled over. You lost that and you became jealous of other people. I keep looking at the eyes, like staring at other people, giving them like hard, cold looks, and like thinking like, you can do that? Like, so what, Because you're jealous. You were envious. You were full of rage. At one point you loved yourself and then you lost yourself. And again, that's something that you even have to conquer through now in your current life. I'm totally feeling that. Not to say you're jealous, not to say you lost yourself, but I really feel like we have the orange color here, the sacral chakra. So maybe spirit is telling you, look into the sacral chakra, look what it is, read the description of the imbalance and the balancedness, and try to embody that. Try to learn and grow and become that creative mind. I think, even in your current life, you may feel at a low. You may feel, okay, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing right now? Like, I don't know if this is gonna happen. But you can't keep comparing yourself to other people. You have to make it work for you, and you have to figure out what you like, what you don't like, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and what's an illusion and what's not an illusion. And don't impulsively react. I think this is telling you, spirit, I just feel like just look at all perspectives, look at everything, and the bright side and the dark side. Because you may be jealous what people have, what they show, but they may be struggling too. And that's where I feel like you were like, no, they're not struggling. Like, they have all this stuff and like I have nothing and I don't deserve anything and I'm alone. And again, you forgot yourself. You forgot who you were. And I think you had you had to remember at that time, you needed to remember at that time that there are pros and there are cons to what everybody does. So there's, light and there's darkness. All right, so let's pull. I think I'm gonna leave this here. Let's pull. Oh, completely forgot to say the Naked Before the Stars is in reverse. That's because, like I said, the obsession, the Naked Before the Stars, you were super confident. This is just confirming that you were super confident, you were bold, you were sexy, maybe you embodied that feminine side of you, but you lost it. You lost it, 100%. That's what you had to work on in your past life. And hopefully now we can see what you're working on currently. Hopefully, you got that inner strength in you. Let's see. Spirit guides. What does pile 4 need to work on or is currently working on now? Okay. Wow. Okay, I just want to make this clear. I just keep looking at the guilt of regret. So let me start from there. We have guilt of regret. Underneath that is today for tomorrow in reverse. We have atonement. And we have I won't cry for you. I totally called it, but I really think you have to accept the low blows that you've gone through. Like I said, this is a reoccurring past life theme for you, because the guilt of regret is there because there were obstacles and events that you were totally eluded by. Like, you did not know this was going to happen. And the mistakes that came with everything that maybe you made or other people made, and maybe you saw their true colors, maybe you anticipated something that actually didn't happen, you regret a lot of that stuff. And I think this is going back, I'm just like in awe because it's just matching the color tone of this balance. Like, I think this is going back to knowing what is right and what is wrong, and just accepting that whatever comes your way, it's okay. You have to accept it. You have to totally be accepting and not regret the past mistakes you made, not regret the past events that happened, not regret the trauma that you went through. You went through it for a reason. I say this in every pile. You went through these things for a reason. The atonement is you were backstabbed and betrayed again and again and again and again and again. And when I see this, I also see it as like the Eight of Swords, trapped, which goes back to the past life reading that you were probably trapped and enslaved by someone or controlled by someone. With the I won't cry for you, that's the selfish, prideful side that you won't show even to this current past life. And what I have to say to that is drop the barrier, drop the wall, like get the support of others. Don't stand alone. Like, all these people are upset. They're upset because they want to be there for you, and they know you must be going through something. I feel like they can see right through you. Like, I'm looking at the eyes now, and I'm just seeing like you have this pure, like your facial expressions, they can tell what's going on. They can tell when something's wrong, but you choose to take the blows one after another, after another, after another. And it's this bottled up emotion and regret. This is like the 5 of Cups in tarot. We regret and we're looking at all the downpours and the sadness and the rain, but we forget there's always a sunrise, there's always a sun that comes out, there's a rainbow. Like, there are brighter things. With the 5 of Cups, there's like 3 cups that are like down, like crashing on the ground, and then there's 2 cups that are up. And the reason why I'm saying this is because you're looking at the disappointments when you should be looking at the blessings. The blessings that you learned from these experiences. Atonement, like I said, it's that back blow. All these swords are being stacked at this person. They're feeling pain, but at the same time, they're numb. They're numb. This is why it says, I won't cry for you. It's like, I'm hurt. This is hurting. Oh yeah, this on my back, it's hurting. And I can pour out these tears of blood, but I choose to remain numb and look the other way and hold my head up high. But there is a point where it gets so emotional and everything bottles up that all I see is those disappointments. All I see is those events of trauma. And I think for you guys, the most important thing is to come to an acceptance of life. Come to an acceptance of what has happened. Embrace the pain. Embrace the pain and show it to the world. I mean, she is, topless. She is exposed. Show it to the world and show these tears. Show these emotions. Show how you feel. Express it to other people. Confide in other people. Don't be afraid to. Not everyone's gonna give you the best advice. Not everyone's gonna tell you what you need to hear, but it's good to let those feelings out. I feel like you need to hear that. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I really feel like the emotional despair that you hold inside needs to be released. Otherwise, your whole life, you're gonna look at it as if it's the star in reverse, as if it's a disappointment, as if you still didn't complete what you wanted to complete. What's crazy is I pulled this card and she's zoning off into space, and the guilt of regret, they're looking off into who knows where. I really feel like it's time for you to embrace who you are, the inner core. And when we have the today for tomorrow in reverse, I mean, this is like two parts of you, emotionally on the inside and emotionally on the outside. And I think it's in reverse because it's saying you need to be one person. You need to be in union with yourself, accepting of yourself, accepting of the obstacles you went through. And I really feel like it's time to express your emotion and express your truth. So let's see. I think I'm gonna look at one more card. I'm really feeling it right now. Calling the storm in reverse. Yeah, 100%. Calling the storm in reverse is about, calling the storm in general is about the chaos that comes within the storm, the catastrophes that come within the storms. And I keep thinking right along, go with the flow. Like there's so much water, blue emotion here, like blue emotion, throat chakra, communication. Like there's so much of this blue passion and desire that it needs to be expressed. It needs to flow out. Let this chaos ride. That's what I just keep thinking. I'm like, let this happen. Let this ride and express it. When I see this in reverse, I honestly feel like you need to not cause that chaos, but bring in that emotion, bring in that pain, and show it to the world. Show what you're feeling, express it. Even if it's like, having a blog or writing in a journal, privately, and then maybe going to your therapist. Like, I really feel like you need to express that emotion and communicate with, your spirit guides, communicate with the therapist, communicate with friends, family, whoever you want to confide in. I really feel like you need to express that out here. But I really hope you enjoyed this reading. This is the end of your pile, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Much love to you guys. Remember to be strong, communicate, express these emotions, and just accept the life's course for you, because the universe didn't put you in these positions and these obstacles just to hurt you. The universe was not like, let me hurt so-and-so today. No, they did this to teach you a lesson. They did this to help you embrace who you are, embrace your pain, be exposed, and show your emotion. I think Spirit wants you to really feel the support and assistance from other people and really feel in union with yourself and one with yourself, so you can own that self-worth at a good balance. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you have any comments, concerns, questions, things you like, things you didn't like, things you want to see in the future, feel free to comment below. Give this a thumbs up, subscribe, and as always, remember, you are the creator of your universe. So no matter what this says here, you can always change the course of life. So thank you guys so much, Pile 4, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!